Okay, so we've finished the inside of the cover, and now we're going to work on this little half page that is the next page on our in our book, and it's a two-sided page. And what we'll do first of all is work on the front, which is in the red snowflake pattern paper. And what I kept it very, very simple. All I did was take 3 of the elements from the coordinating pack, the shaped like a star, but it's a snowflake, and then fun days together. And I've just done, like we've done all along, is inked the edges of these just a little bit just to rough them up, and then just stuck them down. Leaves lots of room for a photo mat right here in the middle, or journaling, for whatever, and it coordinates very well with the opposite page now that has the extra tags and things like that that are pulled out. So that's the next page. We have the back side of this page next to do. Okay, so for the back of this page, I originally had a blue item with some stamping that I did, and it didn't come together for me, so I actually just cut another of these half sheets out of plain cranberry cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere them together, and then I'll decorate from there. Okay, so now that's stuck down, and what we're going to do is I actually used the art booking cartridge and some of the paper that's on the opposite page, and I cut out the words countdown, and so I'm going to go ahead and put those down this edge here. Okay, so then the last part of this is I stuck those down, and then I stuck one of the triangle embellishments on the bottom corner here. And we're just going to keep it pretty simple on that side as well, so that we have room to put pictures and journaling on this page. Okay, so the next page is our Mary cut out using the cartridge. Well, I figured out what I'm going to do with this page. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to back it with this light blue. I'm going to create a little pocket on the back side of the page that will allow us to slide some more things in, and then keep the red as its own separate page. So what I'm going to do here, pretty straightforward, is rather than cutting it out with the Cricut, because it would try to cut a whole sheet, I am going to go ahead and just cut, just trace around here and trim it with my scissors. So this will be back here, and we'll just stick it down along the edge here. Probably just create a little pocket about that big in which to put tags or whatever, but that would also then give us this part stuck down nicely so that it doesn't lift up, and it looks so pretty that way. I think just mark it a little bit where that edge is, so that I can use this as my template as far as where to glue. Okay, now that I've unstuck the glue, I'm just going to go down the edge here and very carefully across the bottom, because this again is going to be where our pocket is, and just up to the edge here. Now this will not be part of the pocket, so I'll probably just give myself a dividing line here, and then just glue this part down nicely so that it is firm and attached. So the nice thing about this liquid glass is it has a very fine tip, and you can pretty much do what you need to do to cover. I'm going to close that off because that is, we'll just go ahead and place that here. Now, what should happen is we should have this little spot in the middle here. I'll let it dry a little bit, but there's a little spot in the middle that we can go ahead and use for something else. So just so we know that this part is not going to be used, I think I'm going to go ahead and put some sort of an embellishment over it so that it doesn't, so that you don't feel like you have to put something there. And if I stick that down, there won't be a way to do that behind there. So there we have the back side, and then going back to the front side, we have this nice Mary that's really pretty with the blue behind it. Okay, so I've come up with a couple of ideas for this page. On the back of one of the sheets of paper that looks kind of like a sweater pattern, this is kind of the scraps that I had left, there was a nice long piece that I was able to cut out that had some black and the blue color patterns on it. So I thought maybe we would go ahead and just use that as a strip here, and then I'll go ahead and put this on and only attach half again so that whatever picture goes on here in this area can slide underneath it and give it some, give it some interest anyway. You can slide a part of a picture under there. So there's that side. So then now I have that done, I will go ahead and stick down my berries right about here. I do not take any time with this. You don't want it to be perfectly inked. You just want it to be done. And the rougher it is, the better it actually looks. Okay, so then we'll go ahead and apply the liquid glass. If you go close to the edge, not too much because it will leak out or peek out from underneath. So we'll have that there, still allowing our pocket here. Okay, a little too close to the edge there, but we'll get over it. And again, these are 3 more from the coordinating pack that goes with the paper pack we're working with. Okay, so what I've done after I've done that is I cut out 2 of these very cool tag shapes from the art booking cartridge, and just have an interesting edge on them. They're photomats, so I think they're under photomat too, but then they just give a little interest, but they're small enough for both of them to fit into this little area here without much of an issue. It doesn't really matter which direction, I just thought I'd try to go for a low contrast. So those couple will fit in there nicely. We've still got lots of room to put a main photo up here or journaling, and then each of these can have a photo and journaling, or 2 photos, whatever, and they tuck right in here, and they'll stay out of the way of the holes. Okay, this next one is the one that has the word Christmas down the side, and it's 2-sided, the other side just being this real pretty blue. We're going to start on this side, and what I've decided to do to make it kind of coordinate here, I've decided to use that same element. I just haven't quite figured out how I want to do it yet, but the same element here is over here just to bring the pages together. But then also I've decided, and I cut out from the Cricut cartridge this file folder in the slate, Whisper, sorry, it's Whisper. And so, and I cut it so that it was, I used the 6-inch cutting size so that it ended up being about 7 inches by 4.5 or 5 inches. So I thought I would put this here so that you have the ability to put pictures here, here, and here, journaling as well. And then just debating, I may leave this open a little bit to have a little card stick out here as well. And what I've decided to do is, let me move this out of the way, I've decided to go ahead and put a little stamp here. And again, I'm going back to this Dreamer Flair, and this whole thing says a lot more. It says, all things are possible to those who believe, and I'm just going to do the believe part and just put that up in here. So what's nice is I could cut it off if I wanted to, but this distressed ink pad is small enough that, or otherwise I would use a marker and just marker it. But the distress ink one is small enough that I believe I can get it on there and get it good coverage. There we go. Kind of pulled it away, but get good coverage and not pick up any of the other letters. So that worked out nicely. So then we have believe. So we'll go ahead and decide. So this piece right here, I'm not gonna glue down. And this gives us plenty of room to work with. Just a little tiny corner of it to hold that flap down. It's not going to hold it down completely, but it'll keep it, and it still pops up, but you can tuck it under there and it will very nicely handle that. Okay, so now we need to decorate the file folder here, and I was just playing with some color options. First thing I'm going to do is take a strip of off the edge of one of the paper packs, again, paper pads, and stick it to the edge here, and then I'll take a piece of this white cardstock, white daisy cardstock, and put it here, ink the edges, and that should do what we want it to do. So then we have a little folder you can tuck under there that has a photo mat on the outside, a place here, and a photo mat here. We've got lots of cool things on that page. Okay. Then the next page is going to be the back side of the same page. Okay, so what I decided to do on this page is to go ahead and put like a calendar of sorts on here. And I've cut one out on the Cricut art booking. Has this great little calendar grid. So I'm going to place this on here, and then we'll work on embellishing and decorating it. I just did it in white, which of course, generally I ink and do all that stuff. I'm going to, but I'm just waiting it's difficult to work with a little bit. And I had this one little issue here where it didn't cut all the way through. So I just need to stick that down. So that's kind of the grid that we're going to work with. Okay, and here I'm going to show you a little trick. I need to fit those numbers right in these boxes. And so what I've done is taken my long acrylic holder thing, and I've laid it across the grid, and then I placed the numbers in upside down so that when I turn over and stamp, they should all stamp in a nice place, and then I'm always stamping one time and not doing each individual letter. And this will still be very light compared to the paper that it's on. And so very subtle numbers across there. So I'll finish this. I'm still going to do the same thing all the way down. Okay, this page is almost finished, and I've got my little 25 from the set that has all the, actually it's a very cute set. It has all of the countdown numbers 1 through 25 on here. And so what I've done is I've put a pop dot on that so that it stands up, and then I'm putting it right over top of the 25 just so it stands out a little bit. Okay, so the other thing we were missing was the word December across here, which I wanted to do. And so I had the idea to take and use one of the page cutouts actually has the word December on the edge of it that I really liked. And so I sort of cheated, cut the entire thing out, and then just trimmed off the December. And so I'm going to just lay that in there like that. And I think that adds such a lovely, nice touch to the edge there. So again, back to the adhesive. Okay. And that will sit nicely right here. Although we probably won't want to put pictures over top of it, it did give a nice decorative touch to that page. There's some blue spots to color up there. And so there is that next page, the back side of the one that we made the file folder on. There's the back side.